Hello and welcome to episode 544 of the Awesome Comics Podcast, the place where the small press makes one hell of a big noise. My name is Vince Hunt and I am currently fueled by Beecham's this week, though they aren't
We've both got 2/3 of us got colds this week.
Yeah, they aren't sponsoring the show, unfortunately, but
we are available.
We are. I'll tell you who's always available, the artist and creator of Vyper, Red Shadow, Mr. Daniel Butcher.
That's me, hello.
Yes, and one sexy mother. I actually edited myself live then.
Well done.
So I didn't have to cut it out.
But,
I was talking about Tony Esmond.
Yeah, thank you. I'm going to call you Red. Red Shadow sounds like someone who was like a 1940s Western star, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. Who you find out? Name. Yeah, you find out about 40 years later, he probably beat his wife to death or something like that.
It's usually those stars.
Drunk all the time.
He was right winging.
They're like 50 or 60, and they're on-screen lovers like 18, 17, 18.
Yeah. I did watch an episode of the Rockford Files the other day where Garner was snogging a much younger woman, and I thought, nah, I'm not having. Yeah. This is a bit weird.
How often do you? I mean, when you say you watched an episode of the Rockford Files, was it just on telly?
No, I've got like the double box set. Yeah.
Wow, you actually dip into box sets.
Yeah, I do that all the time now. I've got a Blu-ray player downstairs now, so I watch it.
See,
all the time.
I'm doing this thing where it's almost like I'm collecting box sets of films or whatever, and then end up streaming something, and the box set just sits there. Do you know what I
mean?
Yeah.
Thing is, like, if I put a DVD or a Blu-ray on, I'll watch it. If I flick through fucking Prime, I won't watch it all. I watched Inseminoid the other day because I put the Blu-ray in, but I won't watch it if it's. Do you know what I mean? It's a bit like that. This morning I tried to watch Carry On Columbus, but if I had it on Blu-ray, I'd probably watch it. No, I wouldn't. That was so shit. It's one of the shitest films I've ever seen.
I spent 15, 20 minutes just flicking through the fucking films. And I'm like, hold on, I've got a watch list. And then I'll flick through that and don't watch any of them.
Yeah.
And then I go, I must go back to that one. I might like that one. I'll see what else there is. Yeah. I'll do that, you know?
I find watch lists essentially pointless. I add things to them, but then it's almost I forget about them. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
I've done it. You've gone onto it, and then it goes, the rights to this is expired in your country. That's a good one.
Yeah, you do get that, don't you? But I think that's the same with like pre-orders on comics. I'll pre-order a comic full of fucking, up for it. Oh, I can't wait to see this. And then like, sometimes Kickstarters, and the Kickstarter will arrive 6 months later, and I'm like, I'm not as jazzed about it now. It's bad like that, isn't it? We're so like that these days. I feel ashamed of myself for being like
instant
that.
gratification, especially when Kickstarters. I'm like, I really want this, and then like I say, you got to wait fucking ages.
I find that the world of digital has changed things as well. Like, I listen to like a lot of audiobooks because I don't take the train anymore, so I don't, I don't get a chance to read books. They're usually audiobooks when you're driving and stuff like that. And I was listening to one the other day, and I was really enjoying it, and I recommended it to like a workmate, and they couldn't find it on Audible, and I was listening to it on Audible, and it was no longer available.
Oh.
I've got it in my library. Because I used a credit for it. But when I was looking, I just sort of Googled it, as you do.
You're lucky it's still in your library in a way.
And they said it could be a license thing, or whoever.
Well, we had that with Comixology, didn't we? We thought Comixology was there forever, and now we don't use it quite as much. And a lot of comics, my comics have left Comixology.
Yeah. And of course, that merging into Kindle and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's just part of the Kindle library now, isn't it?
I think that's
physical media, mate.
Yeah, comic creators generally like, look, it's going to be on this. It'll be around forever. Is that no, it won't. It's gone. It's just because I'm doing the transient nature of digital, isn't it?
Yeah, going back to the whole sort of me listing my comics, I'm doing that, and I'm coming across little runs and thinking, I'll put that aside, and then I'm thinking, but I can read that on the iPad in the morning,
right? Yeah,
on the Marvel app or something, Yeah, I know.
Can't be that tangible reading the actual comic though, can you?
Yeah,
no, you can't. It's lovely to have it here.
You get the ads in it as well, like the Three Musketeers bars that I've never had.
I had a three. I remember getting a Three Musketeers bar, like when I went to the States once. I think it was just like a big Milky Way or some shit like that.
Oh, is that what it is? It's a bit disappointing.
Something like that. Yeah.
But
I wanted to sell
did this as well. In the back you used to get those adverts. You could get like the Marvel title was direct, and like you pay this much and you get these much
boxes.
Yeah, me and my friends were like,
dream about
what are you
it.
gonna get? Like, be like, this one.
Yeah.
Gonna get the 3.
I don't know if you remember in the middle pages, you used to get back issues, and I used to go through them. Oh, right, I can afford this one and this one, and I'd never get it because they're all from an American company.
Yeah. The hobby has changed completely.
Hasn't it? Massively. Yeah, it's very different.
Yeah, but what doesn't change is quality interviews that we do on this show.
And throwing Dan under the bus.
Oh, yeah. If you want a bit of that, and so a lot of talk about... yeah. Dan's still got tyre treads on his face right now from where the bus ran over him.
He was like, he did hit me with the frying pan in the face at the start, didn't he?
Bong,
like that. Yeah.
All kicks off, but for a worthy cause. And
us well-trained and cultured interviewers just trying to get mentions of fish fingers into interviews.
Yeah. Fish fingers, robots,
Dan's porn
Flesh
habits.
Gordon.
Flesh Gordon and the cheerleaders from Mars.
UV lights. All in this interview coming up.
Okay, another exciting one this week. We are joined by an artist of such titles as Realm of the Damned, Petrol Head, a pod favourite, and many a badass image of a transformer or two. There's going to be so much we're going to talk about in this chat. And has also recently been appearing in none other than the New Gods. This is
Kirby's New Gods.
Yes, this is long overdue, and we've chatted to him for a couple of years, but finally, welcome to the show, Pye Parr.
Nice to be here. Thank you for asking me.
Good stuff. You finished your fish fingers, Pye?
I have. No eating. You might hear me slurping on a can of beer. But...
Oh no, that's all good.
I'm trying to keep lip smacking to a minimum.
Tony was talking about fish fingers earlier. I think it's a different thing though.
Oh God! Fucking hell.
Now, anyone who's sort of listened to the show over the past couple of years, I think Realm of the Damned was when I first, wasn't it? I picked it up.
You've been bringing it up since we started the pod.
Yes, no. I'll tell you what it was. I discovered it. Remember when we went to the 40th, the 2000 AD 40th?
Oh, was it then? Was it?
And I picked it up at the stall that was doing like prints and stuff like that, I think.
Right.
And then I was just fucking hooked. I mean, I'm a metalhead anyway, so and then I fell into the world of Pye Parr as it were. But not only that, you've gone. I mean, there's that sort of metal horror, satanic type stuff, and then you're doing Petrol Head and you're doing robots,
and Transformers, G.I. Joe,
yeah. I mean,
things that are really easy to draw.
Yeah, I mean, Intestinauts, of course, was obviously a massive success as well. So with the New Gods, you're trying your hand at everything. I mean, what do you love to draw the most?
Cars and tech and stuff, undoubtedly. I said the other day, actually, I met Evan Cahill for the first time as the main artist on the New Gods, and just sort of said, like, because his people are utterly beautiful. Like the way he draws humans is, I find that quite intimidating, to be honest, to sort of follow someone.
There's a real elegance to his character, isn't there? Yeah.
You are, sorry?
There's a real elegance, I think, sometimes to his character.
Yeah, that's right. And whereas I think kind of stuff and tech is my strength and people are maybe not. But I sort of said to him that all my robots look like people and all my people look like robots.
It's not a bad place to be.
Yeah, that's not a bad place to be. I mean,
I just I would like them to look a bit less mechanical. Whereas I find it easier to imbue something that doesn't have any humanity with humanity than a.
But we'd probably disagree with you on that one.
Oh, okay, fine. I'm happy to be disagreed with. But I don't want you to say, I think your people are shit, Pye.
I will say that I've been hovering over some very reasonably priced cars on your website this week.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Some nice
and
men. Yeah.
Like, obviously, with the cars and everything, I mean, where did this all start? Because you've obviously done gig posters and, there's some like
DVD covers.
Yeah, stuff like that. Oh, the Critters, what stuff is... I love it.
Yeah.
But where did it start? Did you start with illustration, or what's your comic sort of history?
I wanted to be a comic artist since I was about 10. Like, I originally wanted to draw the Beano. And then I started picking up 2000. I thought, I'd quite like to do this. And then you sort of tell a careers advisor when you're 14 or 15 that you want to draw comics for a living. and they say, you've got to be quite good to do that. I think I'm all right. I mean, in fairness, I wasn't. I was shit at the time because I was 14. But so they said, oh, no, why don't you try becoming a graphic designer? Which is actually a kind of fairly sensible... I resisted it for a long time. Like, fuck you, I don't want to do that. And then I ended up just doing some absolute dog shit work after leaving school, and started doing some evening classes in computer art. So I learned Corel Draw and some other sort of old programs that nobody really uses anymore. And then got a job in a design department for a magazine and spent probably 15 years as a graphic designer.
Oh, yeah.
But then one of those jobs was doing the graphic design for 2000 AD, which allowed me to kind of still work on the art side of things. And I built up my art in the background and eventually had enough sort of clients that I could quit the graphic design and do what I wanted to do all along.
That's amazing. And also, with doing that, you're learning the essential skills of crop, bleed, CMYK, you know, all of this
right,
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You'd be amazed how many artists don't have that background and don't, you know, because you end up knowing a little bit about all the processes and it makes your art, you can approach it in a more, very practical way.
Yeah.
And you're in the footsteps of Doug Church as well, which is nice.
Yeah.
You know.
Who's Doug Church, sorry?
He was the designer on the original.
Oh.
Yeah.
Was he really?
Yeah.
Oh, of course.
Right. We've spoken about it, Vince.
Yeah. Tony's our resident historian. I forget everything every week.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, you know, like Kev O'Neill as well, all that sort of design work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also with that sort of training, did that obviously help with training for deadlines and stuff when it came to your personal art? Because it's a very different medium to have, like, you're immediately laughing.
Any editor who's worked with me would know that maybe deadlines aren't my strong point.
I mean, if you've seen the detail you put in your pages.
Yeah. Well, I think it does give you a sort of slightly more knowing that being late is fine. Just tell people that you're late. Don't lie about it.
Communication.
That's what I've learned from being on the sort of production side of stuff. Is there's nothing worse, like when you're sat as the editor for waiting for something to go to press, not knowing where something is, and it doesn't turn up. It's a nightmare. Whereas if they'd have said a week ago, I'm really late, you've got time to have a workaround. You're not going to be happy about it, but it makes your life easier.
Yeah, it's not like the old days when you know, the old 2000 AD stalwarts could say there, you know, I'm almost there. Because these days you can just take a picture of it and send it to the editor in 1 minute. You know,
right? Yeah, exactly.
Caught out straight away. Yeah, it's like Steve Dillon saying, "Oh yeah, I'm on that." You know,
especially if you kind of nowadays, if you go kind of like ghost people or go phone silent, there's like a 50 million ways to fucking get hold of an artist or a designer. So that doesn't fucking fly at all. Do you know what I mean?
No, that's right.
Especially,
but then, like everything digital, everything does take less time. So it always sort of your deadline sort of truncates towards the end. So the last person who's working on it just has to carry the can on everything.
Yeah.
Really.
What is your process? Because like, obviously we've seen like pencil sketches and stuff like that. Is it that and you transfer it to digital? Or has it changed over the years?
Generally, I'll do a digital sketch to start with because it's a lot easier doing compositions digitally because you can just pull things around, try stuff quickly. You know, and plus I could work with logos to start with instead of having to roughly work out where they're going to be. And then from that, I'll generally do a pencil sketch, and then I'll scan that in and do everything else digitally.
Okay.
But I mainly do the pencil. I mean, Petrol Head is all digital, but I mainly like to, when I can, create something that exists because you get a bit depressed otherwise. You're just sort of not really making anything on a computer.
Has your process changed a bit? Because we were chatting just before you came on there about, you know, Damned is very different from your Transformers and New Gods work. And
yes,
has your process really changed during that time?
Yeah, probably. I mean, certainly the sort of way I approach the work has, like, Realm of the Damned was the job that allowed me to go freelance in the first place. So there's a pretty steep learning curve there. And a lot of the style that I use to draw that comic is mainly based around, like all it's a style based out of limitation. Like, I found a way to make the art look good by using all this sort of scribbles and the black and white stuff and lots of kind of blood splats that didn't rely on me doing absolutely perfect drawing.
Okay.
And then as my drawing has improved, I've been able to sort of refine that. But also, you know, like that was like Damn was an interesting job because although I enjoyed it and I learned a lot, and Alec is now, you know, friend for life.
Yeah, because you done 3 books together. You did 3 books together.
Yeah, 3 books. Yeah.
And I speak to Alec Worley in case of existing. Yeah,
we keep talking about doing something else. It's just time, isn't it? But
no,
that was still a very work for hire job. So a lot of the kind of although the story was ours, especially the first book, there was the guy who sort of paid us to do it had a definite idea of what he wanted. Like absolutely no humour, loads of gore.
Yeah,
I want Frankenstein to fight the werewolf to fight the mummy, and then Alec found a way to sort of put a twist on all those characters and make them batter each other. And then after that, we kind of spun it out into more oddness. honest, that was more hours. But my natural way is not, you know, I'm not a huge horror guy. I just took a job that allowed me to do what I wanted to do.
Yeah. How long did that take you to do it? Can you remember?
About a year a book, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
Because how was it released? Because obviously I just got there when I first got it. It was just a finished collection. Was it released in like I don't know the releasing of?
No, that was the other thing. The guy did. He was like, no, I can't be bothered with comics. The comic industry's dead. He was an interesting chap. He was just like absolutely no nonsense. No, we're just doing graphic. Who can be bothered with all these little crap things? We'll just do a graphic novel. We'll make £1 million. I'll turn it into a film. So we just did it straight as a graphic novel, and then as a sort of second income stream, and because of where it came from, he offered it to Matt to run in the creator-owned slot in the magazine, which is how that was the only place.
Right, I wondered about that. Yeah.
And then after that, he said, like, let's just do the second books. But of course, that didn't get put in the Meg after that, so they kind of nobody really heard about them. I don't think.
Yeah, this was there was a Mega City Book Club about this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know if you heard it.
I know it was there. I didn't listen.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, and they talk a little bit about that. And what's happened to the original publisher? Are they still about, or?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, they're owned by Plastic Head, who are like the big record distribution and merch company.
Ah, right.
So I met Steve, the owner, through doing stuff for 2008. At the time, they had a T-shirt license.
Right.
And he'd seen it. I think I did a cover for an ABC Warriors book, and he's like, I want that guy to draw me some T-shirts. And then I went for a meeting with him, and it span into, do you want to draw a whole graphic novel? And I was like, yeah, okay, I'll quit work. That was like this, the kind of thing that doesn't really happen.
Yeah. Well, it did get a movie, didn't it? Because I know if you look it up on Amazon, the first thing that comes up is a motion comic for it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, movie's a bit sort of generous, but yes, it's.
That's glorious, man.
And then from there, I mean, what's the journey from there? Because that is, as you know, as much as I love it and as much as there's a massive audience for it, it could quite easily just be pigeonholed into, you know, like you say, it's so serious, so dark, and so horror, and you know,
so metal.
Yeah, I mean, it's so dark, but it almost becomes silly. That was the enjoyment we got out of it. You know, that was the. It almost gets a bit kind of homoerotic at the end of the first book, where they're biting each other's necks.
That's horror for you.
That's right. And Alec loves sort of horror stuff far more than I do. I don't mind drawing people getting pulled in all different directions, but
did that help with like finding out, like drawing intestines, guts, and like, you know, because it goes there, the book goes there.
Yeah, you kind of went from graphic design to doing that.
Graphic design to graphic violence.
Yeah.
There's your autobiography, Pye.
But of course that tees you up for you know, something you're going to do later with intestinals, doesn't it? That, you know, there are things.
That's right. Well, that's much more kind of silly gore. It's not really gore. It's just kind of juvenile nonsense. But yeah, I mean, you can see in that first. I can't remember when I did the first intestinals, possibly at the same time as Realm of the Damned. But in fact, I did a few between various books, and that was the colours I used on that were almost a reaction against. I've got so sick of doing everything grey and green and red. And I was like, right, I want to use pink and Dayglow blue and just go absolutely.
Yeah, your colours are really vibrant, especially on like something like Petrol Head. It's just absolutely goes there.
So Petrol Head's a bit slightly more kind of refined, I think. But yeah, that's my natural thing, because that's a very kind of design-led thing. It's like use of colour, I think.
Was Intestinals the first? Is that with Rob? Is that your first work with Rob?
No, that was with Arthur Wyatt. So I did like a little Future Shock, and then we did some longer ones, and you know.
Classic.
We've got some ideas for other stuff for
that.
Yeah. What's coming up in comics? Who, you know, as you were, like you said, at 14, telling the careers advisor you want to be a comic artist. Who were your influences back then, Pye?
I absolutely loved Kev Walker's ABC Warriors in 2008. That was awesome. My favourite sort of thing. And for a long time, you try and copy that and realise that you can't.
They're such great designs, aren't they?
And like his painting's absolutely sublime as well. They had some of the those data chips they had in the office. You remember the 2008 data chips?
Yeah.
Like those collectible cards. And he'd done these little sort of portraits about that big of each one, and they're just perfect. They look like there's not a thing wrong with them. They're unbelievable.
It's got such depth to it, ABC Warriors. It's one of my favourites as well from the prog. And there's such a lot going on. It's an action comic, but it's also an anti-war comic. It's also, you know, about soldiers' PTSD. It's also a monster comic.
Right. And kind of, I suppose that's a bit of an influence on Petrol Head. It sort of punctures it with humour every so often as well. You know, you've still got that, like, no matter how serious or gory it gets, you've still got that dynamic between Rojaws and Hammerstein, you know, picking at each other.
Yeah, and how long did it take us to figure out that they're Rodgers and Hammerstein? It took me, it took me so long to fucking figure out.
About now.
Yes. I just got that too.
I just like, fucking hell. Wow. We always learn something on this show. It's amazing.
Yeah, we just.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember when we saw you at Lawless that year. I mean, you were saying that ABC Warriors is like would be a dream project.
Yeah. I've said a few times I'd quite like to do that.
Have you ever reached out to Pat and said, "Look, come on, one more go"?
No, I haven't got time, dude. That's the main problem with being a comic artist is that like writers can spread themselves around a little bit.
Yeah, it's easy for us to write on the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly. You know, and you can work on multiple projects at the same time. Whereas an artist, especially if you're doing something that you want to turn into a book, that's like a year or 18 months work, and it's quite a thing to sign on to, and then be able to do nothing else at the same time, or do other things and get yourself in lots of trouble, like is what I do.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting a bit of a name for being sort of variant cover to the Transformers guy and G.I. Joe and everything like this, aren't you? You know.
Yeah, I've done quite a few of those now, and my next job hopefully is with Skybound as well.
Oh, okay.
Awesome.
Oh, nice.
We love Skybound here.
Yeah.
Big fans.
Skybound's one of those names where, like, when it first starts, you just sort of think, here we go. Right, obviously it's the big name one. We know what we're going to get. And then all of a sudden it's like, actually, this is really fucking amazing. And you pick up the next one, you're like, this is really fucking good. And they're just fucking smashing everything.
I mean, that the Daniel Warren Johnson Transformers thing was unbelievable.
Yeah. I know.
I didn't read it to start with because it came out the same week that the first Petrol Head did. So all the people were reviewing them together, which was nice. But like at the same time, I was like, "What is this Transformers comic?" And then I read it 6 months later. I was like, "Oh my god, this is unbelievable!"
And now Dan Mora's on it now as well.
That's
knocking it out of the park as well.
Amazing.
Yeah,
amazing stuff. Energon's great. It's just I was never into any of that stuff because I'm a little bit older than that, but it's dragged me right in. Really good. It's great storytelling.
That's
really fun.
Yeah. The storytelling does it all, isn't it? But like you say, like when you work on a project, and it is a lot of work, even if you're just doing the art. But you seem to like properly collaborate with your writers, don't you? Whether it be Realm of the Damned or like Petrol Head with Rob and stuff. What's the working relationship like in terms of, you know, characters, storylines, action scenes that you want to bring into it? You know, how does that work? It obviously changes from partnership to partnership.
Yeah, it does. But like I, as you say, I do like that kind of relationship where there's a bit of back and forwards, which I suppose you don't always get, but I've always been lucky enough to have. I don't just get given a script and then have no contact.
Right.
Yeah, things like Realm of the Damned, like the first book, obviously we knew what we had to do, which was, you know, we need to establish the bad guy, we need to make him fight this, and Alec came up with all those reasons. There wasn't really a lot of I didn't have a huge amount of input on the script, but when it came to the second one, he was like, well, what do you want to draw? Do you want to draw any particular type of freak? You know, so I think I said, can I draw frogmen? Which is why the sort of weird frogmen turned up. I think actually that's the third one the frogmen turned up in. And then Alec realised I was good at cars, so he put a car chase in it.
Yeah, there's a bit of sort of Mad Max going on in the third one.
Yeah, and yeah, so I've always had a bit of that. You know, like an Arthur knows I've got a design background, so he would say, "Oh, can you do like a leaflet that turns into part of the comic and stuff like that?" And I always enjoy. I mean, that's what's nice about comics in the first place is that you can mess around with storytelling techniques to do fun stuff like that.
I mean, even as progressed as you're right, man. Even as progressed as movies have become, they couldn't do justice to your New Gods. It's just impossible. Right. You know, it just works so much better on a page. I think definitely.
Winds up stuff like that bloody Quantum Mania, where it's just everything's computer generated.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel.
It's a mess. Yeah.
It's weird. Like when there's too many ideas on a screen, it's too much for us, isn't it? But when it's almost like when there's too many ideas on a page, we can just sit and look at it.
You can look at it as long as you like on a comic page.
And you love it. How did the New Gods? I know we're jumping about all over the shop because you've done so much, but after Petrol, you know, and everything else, how did New Gods land on you?
I think I've only met Evan Cahill recently because I didn't know him, but he started following me on Twitter ages ago. He must have seen something that I'd done. And that was quite exciting because he was great. And, you know, it's always nice to get like a follow of people you really admire. So he's obviously aware of some stuff that I was doing. And that was a couple of years ago. And then when Petrol Head came out, Ram V came up to our table at Thought Bubble and said, "Oh, Evan's been going on about this." he says your stuff's really good, so I'll come to check it out. I was like, okay, thanks very much, nice to meet you. And then 2 years later, I just got an email off DC saying Ram and Evan need someone to fill in for a couple of issues. Would you be up for doing it? So obviously they've just sort of seen some of my stuff and had it in the back of their head that I'd be good to work with, and it went from
and
there.
Ram's such a nice guy as well. Ram's like not only is he
lovely bloke, yeah.
And you been a fan of the Kirby stuff? He's Kirby and influencers.
No, I don't really read many American comics, to be honest. Like,
right,
I've read classic ones, you know, like Dark Knight Returns and Watchmen and all that sort of stuff. But no, Jack Kirby. Like, I'm about 3 podcasts now because people have been asking me about New Gods, and every time I'm like, yeah, I really need to read some Jack Kirby. I still haven't looked because again, his art's amazing, and he's another artist who has good outside influences, like all that montage art he did, and the kind of. I love the way he just draws weird stuff. So I need to educate myself.
Yeah, he does. He does go weird. And the thing I always think about Kirby is when someone throws a punch in his comic, you feel it. I think that's where he does so well. Yeah, there's a real power to everything he does. Yeah, because they're great design. I mean, they're very particular about their designs at DC. I'm guessing, are they?
Yeah, that was difficult actually because I've got no real knowledge of anyone. I mean, I know who Wonder Woman is, but I couldn't tell you what a costume is off the top of my head. And obviously they've got a sort of modern style sheet, and New Gods, they throw absolutely everyone in there. So almost immediately, I'm like, what the fuck?
Big Barda and all that sort of thing.
Yeah. So I did. My favourite bit in that really, I like drawing the section with Forager and who's the blue guy, Raker Quarret.
Right.
Is that his name?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. But that was really fun because like they hadn't been drawn by Evan previously, and I found it a lot easier to get out of the shadow and just do what I fancied. And the only reference really you've got is, like, especially for Forager, is old Kirby drawings, and that's I found that kind of much more fun to work on.
Mate, the Orion stuff I love. He's such an interesting character, you know, sort of brought up on the wrong planet. He's angry all the time and all this sort of thing. Really good, really lovely. And the color work on that. Are you doing the colors on it as well, or?
Yeah, I coloured it. Yeah.
Oh, mate, superb.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. You don't make it easy for yourself.
Yeah, I do think this. Yeah, because like you colour have you coloured all of the stuff that you work?
Almost everything. No, I do like a little web.
You maniac.
Yeah, actually, saying that, I have worked with Alec Worley again. We do a sort of weekly web comic for a tabletop war game called Xeogenesis.
Okay.
But yeah, someone else is colouring that, and that's the first time I've been coloured by someone else.
How does that feel?
I don't really like it.
The feeling of someone else colouring it is that what you mean? The feeling of
that's not a slight against the colourist. It's just that I find it hard to, because I've got so used to colouring my own work. I work in a way that involves colouring the lines. So I find it difficult to delineate what part is my job and what part is their job.
Yeah. So you're doing your own line holds and big stuff and
colour layers and stuff. And that, again, it's not really fair on them because I've got this really complicated file with all these sort of transparency effects on it. And they get them and just like, what am I looking at? I don't know what this is. So yeah, that's not a slight against them. Just I found it difficult to relinquish control.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I think that's a common, especially at artists that colour their own stuff as well. That's
right.
There's a certain we want to be in control of the final thing, isn't it? Which is, and sometimes with comics you have to relinquish control. I think,
yeah, exactly. That's right.
Yeah. So it all depends on the quality of your collaborators, doesn't it? Really. You know, how comfortable with it. But I mean, seeing the work that you like, if we take Petrol Head in itself, because I think when we talked about it, the colours always were one of the things that just absolutely popped. Like from the first page, it's like, you know, you're getting different palettes. And it's, you know, it's neon. It's not what you expect, and then when you see that and the line work itself is intricate. You've got buildings, you've got engines. So must be so much work go into it. Now you say you like drawing cars. I want to zone in on this because cars are. I did one little project where there was a bit of a car and it was a fucking nightmare. So. Have you always just loved cars? Do you have a natural passion for cars, or is it just technical things?
Yeah, racing games, track days, old cars, all that stuff.
Because I know you've done all the artwork for the board game Joyride as well, which is
Yes.
That's a mint game, by the way. So as soon as I saw it, I was like, I recognise that art, and I recognise, who's done that car. So are you a pet? Pardon the pun. Are you a Petrol Head yourself?
Yes. Yeah.
They're obviously paying well at 2000 AD.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, unfortunately, sort of, they paid all right at 2000 AD, but they don't pay all right in comics. So everything I own is based on things that I bought 10 years ago. I'm hoping that one day Petrol Head earns me enough money thematically, or what's the word? Is that the right word? I don't know. I would love for Petrol Head to make me enough money to buy me a car.
Right. Okay.
That would be my. That feels like the circle is complete, and I can.
How did that idea come together? How did the Petrol Head idea come together? Was it who approached who? How did the process? Because it's specifically designed for you, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Rob saw. So that's a good example. Actually, going back to your question about collaborations, I was in lockdown and just a bit bored with it. I ended up just doing loads of design work because I didn't have much time, and it pays better than sort of drawing. But I was a bit miserable because I was just doing all this corporate crap, and so I thought I'm going to take 2 weeks off and just draw something that I want to draw and flog some posters of it to make some money. And I did some robots and like robot racing drivers and some sort of weird futuristic cars with lasers and stuff on. And Rob saw them and was like, "This looks like a world that exists already. Have you ever thought about turning it into a comic?" And I kind of had I had an idea in the back of my head about doing an art book, which was a combination of sort of some design-led posters that I'd done, some logo work, some character design, little sort of comic sequences. Wasn't really going to be a story, just more like like a narrative art book or something like that. Right. Anyway, and I said, "No, I haven't, but let's do it." And he was like, "Yeah, I reckon it'd be cool." So he went away for a couple of weeks and came back with this Petrol Head concept, and I was immediately like, "This is better than anything I could have done on my own," because I'm not a writer. Like the difference between sort of being able to write a sequence where some people get shot or a car crashes or something is completely different to making anyone give a shit about those things.
And there's real heart in that story as well, because you have the robot story and there's a very human story as well going on in it, isn't there?
Yeah. And that's the best thing he did with that, really, was to really give it some soul. We pitched it and it got picked up by Image, and that was that.
Right, innit? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
What does
and you're planning on the second one, is that right?
Yeah, so we've already started work on that. It's just taken a long time. It's I got a bit of an advance each issue on the first sort of lot of Petrol Head, which made it doable. I could do it and earn a living. Whereas as you roll on, you've got to start I don't earn any money until after it's on sale. But because of how far you've got to work in advance, I've got to do 6 months work before I see any money, which makes it very difficult. If I had 10 or 20 grand in the bank, I could sit there for 6 months and it'd be all right, but I don't. So I've got to earn money around the side.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing that's kind of what improved your position in America and got you the Transformers and
right, exactly. Yeah, I would have none of the jobs, or New Gods. None of these jobs would have turned up without Petrol Head. So it has. I mean, overall, if I look at it, it's been well worth it. But it's difficult going trying to make cash out of comics, especially
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of artists you think, if you were on a regular gig, that would be amazing, and you only see them doing covers, and there's a reason for that, because I'm guessing that the money that they're getting for a cover is a lot different than what you get.
You get paid more than an internal page. Yeah, certainly. And depending on what you sort of draw, it can be quick or it can take you a long time.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen these artists who sort of transitioned into just doing conventions and doing commissions now. And we don't really see any. There's a lot of artists out there, I won't name them all, who now moved into just doing commissions. Right. So they travel around the country doing all the comic conventions. It actually makes them more money than it would if they did interior pages and did comics.
Exactly.
It's a bit of a sad
state. Then I suppose you've got to get enough people interested in your stuff in the first place for that to pay off.
And then that'll drop off and they'll have to go back to comics for a while again, I guess. It's that sort of cycle.
It's got to feed itself, isn't it? Because you constantly need to bring new people into your work in order to, I mean, I guess commissions, your work's so labour intensive anyway. Do you do commissions, or is it very rarely?
Yeah, when I've got time, basically. I do a few, like around
like Thought Bubble or something like that. Maybe you'll
No, just randomly people who will email you to the website. I mean, I did one for Thought Bubble the other day, but that was only because it was convenient to drop it off, really.
Okay.
I've got like a couple of Petrol Head ones and an Intestinals one. I was sort of trying out my airbrush because I'd like to be able to. So, I did a bit of oil painting a little while, talking about cars. I've got like...
Here we go.
We can see on his shelves, listeners, that but he just stood up for a second, and there's all these little cars. There's all these little cars on his shelves.
Yeah.
Like, I used to do these massive oil paintings of cars.
Bloody hell!
Bloody hell!
Got hundreds of them I never did anything with, and I keep meaning to do a Petrol Head painting.
Yeah.
Bloody hell!
That's amazing. Yeah, lovely work.
That's great.
So. Yeah, I don't really want to do that as a commission because that takes too long. But I wanted to find a way to do a colour commission because I don't really like inking in real life.
You want to see if they'll give you a table at a car show, go along with it and Petrol Head.
Yeah. I did a little art show before Petrol Head came out actually at a VW garage, which was a lot of fun. And they had guys doing like proper little sort of very beautiful watercolour stuff, and then you came to my stand and it was all day-glow nonsense.
Oh, I thought you meant that while they're getting their oil changed.
Well, no, it is a proper garage, but I did an art show inside the garage. It was a VW, a very fancy VW place. Type 2 Detectives, they're called. It was really good.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
How? I mean,
yeah.
Like you must be getting. Do you get a lot of cover offers? I mean,
increasingly the last sort of year or so, I've got quite a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you finding that compared to like?
Is it art directed much, or is it? Do they just say, "Oh, we want to." Whatever,
depends on the job. Yeah, sometimes it will be something specific. So for some of the Transformers ones, like when I did the Battersea one, it was like we'd need Optimus Prime with Battersea Power Station in the background. Beyond that, it's up to you.
Right.
And then when I did the set of Transformers covers, where the characters are kind of hidden in the background, the editor Ben had said to me, like, I did some Transformers posters for More Art Gallery. He's like, I want something quite tiny. I don't want it to be an action scene. I want it to be just very sort of laid out.
Yeah.
So, but beyond that, again, it was sort of up to me. And then I was supposed to do one for GameStop, which never happened. But again, that was like they tell you the character they want, but that's it really.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you've done a redesign of you on a G.I. Joe character, or was it already a redesign?
What's that? Sorry.
I forget the name of the character now. Dan, you know about G.I. Joe. Is it Matt Tracker? Is that right?
Oh, Matt Tracker. He's from a different cartoon called Mask.
Yeah.
Oh, pardon me. Sorry.
Oh God, which must be right up your street. Come on, did you love Mask when you were a kid?
Yeah, that's right. I had lots of Mask toys, but because they sort of they've made him a black guy, haven't they?
Yeah.
No, I think that happened previously, so that was an IDW thing from like 2010.
I was thinking more on the car.
Sheet already. That was just...
I was thinking more on the car design because it's quite.
I have tweaked a little. I fiddled with it a little bit because I was like, well, if I'm going to draw the Thunderhawk, I might, take off some of the bits I don't like and add some bits I do.
Yeah.
Right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's interesting that you say it. Like, we always talk about artists putting their own spin on a costume or the way things look. Whether it be Captain America, just having, some people have drawn him with proper chainmail or just a couple of lines to represent that. But it's when it comes to the vehicles or things like that. Is it something that you can get away with doing your style of something more because no one's really noticing, oh, that wing mirror is a bit different,
Well, one of the things they said to me actually, like, because Hasbro do have to approve everything, so you can't go too crazy. But they were actually more bothered about the fact that I don't think they had the license for the original car it's based on, which is like a Camaro IROX.
Oh, okay.
Right.
So they're like, you have to make some changes to it, so it sort of genericify it a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think in some of the IDW comics, they totally changed the car. It was much more modern, and I didn't really fancy doing that. I'd quite like it to be classic.
Yeah.
Because all that Skybound stuff, all the Transformers, they're all kind of G1, aren't they? They're not.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Transformers ain't easy things to draw, I'm guessing.
No.
They're kind of shoeboxes, really. I mean,
I've heard someone else say that before. Yeah. It's not like drawing Superman,
It's difficult to. I was talking to Nick Roche about this the other day. It's difficult to get any sort of dynamics in the. You start off and your sketch looks like got loads of energy and they're all well balanced. And then as soon as you start working out all the rectangles properly, it kind of kills the energy, and that's where it takes a little bit of and you have to almost draw them. It's like Judge Dredd. You have to draw him in a broken way to make him look good.
Right.
You know, like if you look at the way Henry Flint draws his helmet, if he wants a side view, he'll put it like right on his nose, and it doesn't work, but it looks really good. And whereas he'll draw it differently from a different angle, he's not trying to make it into a 3D object. And I think Transformers are the same, really.
Yeah. With the Transformers, obviously, is it a lot of reference? Constantly, like when you're drawing, you go, oh god, I've got to look, see what Optimus Prime's midsection looks like. And,
yeah, that's right. And then, like, you know, and they've all got, so you can kind of fudge it a bit because they can transform into all sorts of different things. But then if you draw them again, you end up, who am I referencing, myself or someone else? Like, it's strange. Yeah.
It's a weird one because it kind of came back with DWJ drawing it, and he's got sort of a looser energy, you know, energetic feel to it, but he still has to comply to the rules of a Transformer. It's a really interesting thing, isn't it? Because it's got this sort of reputation of being like a big bash 'em up comic at the moment, and you got to go with it, I suppose. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good panels in that with the bit where Prime suplexes Starscream is absolutely mega. Yeah. He just gets so much energy into his drawings. They're amazing.
Yeah, he is great. Yeah.
He does love his wrestling.
He does. And he talked about it when he was on here actually years ago, didn't he? Yeah.
And every time I'm like, I recognise that move. Anyway.
It's amazing that it's all got such energy. I mean, there's some of the biggest selling comics in the world now. Energon. It's really come back with a fucking bang, isn't it? It's great to see.
Yeah.
Just giving the readers what they want.
Yeah, you're right, man.
Yeah. What would be? I mean, if we took the ABC Warriors off the Dream gig, right?
Which I guess they are now, aren't they? If Pat's not writing them, I guess we're not seeing them.
Yeah, I don't know really. That's up to 2000 AD, to be honest. I mean, they do that. I mean, they do their best to, although they obviously own everything. They do their best to sort of stay quite loyal to the people who created stuff and let them draw it.
Yeah.
But I mean, some things have gone away, haven't they? Like Rob's drawing that Zenith spin-off in 2000 at the moment.
Oh yeah, that's back, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
But what would be the dream gig? And it doesn't have to just be like a comic. You could just be doing an adaptation of a TV show or something like that. You know, it could be anything. What have you always wanted?
I'd quite like to do some sort of concept design for Mad Max or something like that. That'd be
like Brendan McCarthy kind of stuff.
Yeah. Or like who's the Mark Sexton, is it, who did all the Fury Road stuff?
Yeah. Because you did a print, didn't you, in your shop for?
Yeah,
Mad
I saw
Max?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was was an unlicensed thing, just for an art show. I can't remember where.
Yeah. Is that how the Fallout one came about as well? Which is just there on my... different gallery, but yeah, that's they do it every year. They do a show called the Blacklight Show or something. Where you can only use day glow and light reactive inks.
Oh, don't shine that in Dan's bedroom. That's
no, that'd be a pollock. That will.
You've done me there. I done you earlier. So
but how do these other sort of gigs come about? I mean, do you find that the comic work is turning up and getting eyes on your illustration more than you thought it was?
I think comic work sort of begets more comic work.
Right.
All the stuff around it comes from other places, really. Basically, I'm quite good mates with Luke Priest. I don't really know him. He does like loads and loads of he does gig posters for Metallica and stuff like that.
Okay.
We went to school together.
He's fucking amazing. He did like a Gears of War type stuff as well. That was
nice.
Yeah, he is. But we went to school together, and then when I started at 2000 AD, I met him in the pub about a couple of years after I'd started. He said, "Oh mate, how's it going? I've just literally walked out of a job. Do you know anyone who's hiring?" I said, "Well, yeah, 2000 AD." So he came and worked with me there for a couple of years, and then we both split off. So he ended up doing a lot of music work and posters and stuff, and then I kind of carried on in comics. But yeah, so things like Fallout, and I did some posters for Primus and stuff, generally come through him. I'll say, can I have a go at that? And he's quite generous with helping me out.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Is that how the Blu-ray covers came about?
Yeah, so he'd done some Arrow video work before as well. And he sort of, again, said, here's my mate, introduced me, here's my mate Pye, have you got anything for him? And they were like critters. I think the commissioning guy from Arrow video, he expected me to be a bit like, critters, who the fuck wants to draw that? And I was like,
oh man, Arrow video. I feel like Arrow video.
Not great, and I'm like, mate, it's about twice as much as I get for a comic cover.
Oh really? I feel like I just need to give Arrow video my wallet sometimes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just so much there, and they've just had a big sale on, haven't they? I've noticed as well. Another one.
Really?
Yeah.
there seems to be such care put into what they do and like the versions that they do. I mean, what was that like working with Arrow Video? Compared to other things.
Oh, really good. Yeah, because again, like, I don't think they really had any expectations with Critters. A lot of the time they have a little bit. The one thing because I've done a few things for them. The one thing that you do run into is a lot of the time they don't have the license to use the actors' faces.
Right.
Because it's too much of a ball ache. Either you have to pay more money, or you have to like go backwards and forwards through approval processes, and the whole thing becomes a bit of a nightmare. Which is all right with something like Critters, because nobody really cares about the actors. You only want to see the monsters.
Yeah.
But then I did a Lost in Space one for them, and I can't use any of the characters really.
I wondered that because I'm a big fan of the original series, and I kept looking at it thinking, is this the original series or is this the one with Joey from Friends? I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, it's the Joey from Friends one. Although I did make sure that I drew the interior art. I wanted to do the original kind of robot from Lost in Space because he kind of turns up in the new film, doesn't he?
Yeah.
In a slightly different form. I wanted to kind of draw that. So that's what I have to. You have to concentrate on stuff like that. And I've done another one which I can't tell you what it is, but like
you did an Outland. Do you do Outland for them?
I did Outland, but again we couldn't use Sean Connery's face.
Yeah, just the spacesuit stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so which is why I went deliberately leaned into this kind of graphic side, and I was quite pleased with that. But it got absolutely slated on their Facebook. Yeah, well, these things happen, I had gone a bit Dayglow.
But having tried your hand, like say, like the movies and the different movie titles, and trying a Transformers or a G.I. Joe, or you're dipping your toe into these things that have quite extensive fandoms, and movies, even if they're like niche, they've got a fandom and they've got people who like the way it is.
Nutters, I think is the phrase you're looking for.
Yeah. Absolute psychopaths. But have you found that sort if you got that sort of response to that? Just say that Outland work.
Yes.
When you started, would that have affected how you work, or are you? Because it can be quite personal, can't it? It can.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of your sort of self-worth is wrapped up in this stuff that you do.
Yeah.
I did find that quite difficult actually, because some of it was quite vitriolic. But then it's interesting. You get two types of people. You get the people the sort of fans who only want to see what they already know, and you get other people who are quite happy to see an interpretation. Facebook absolutely slated, whereas on Blue Sky I had a bit, which is, I don't know why this is, was a bit more of that's a really nice picture. They took it at its own value. I don't know whether that's because they were less bothered about the fact that it was Outland and looking at its own thing, or whether it was because they're just slightly more open to. Because I'd much prefer to do my own interpretation of stuff, which is why I started fiddling with the mask car.
Right.
But obviously some people aren't going to like that because it isn't like the original, and that's a fair. I think that's a fair thing to think. You're allowed to like what you like.
Yeah, both of those are valid. If you kind of want to bring an artist aboard, they want to put their own spin on it. Like that's why you're hiring them for that purpose.
Right.
And people want to
some people, their strength is absolutely giving people what they want. Like that's that's not necessarily.
But also, there's a certain editorial responsibility as well. It's not just you, but if there's a client asking for something.
Yeah, sure. Well, that's why I was quite grateful, really, to the guy at Arrow, because he really sort of was like, I like this. This is, lots of people have got like a version of this on video. Let's try and hit a different audience.
I think
I'm happy to do something different.
Yeah.
There's a middle ground as well. You only got to look at your new gods. It's reverence to the old stuff, but it's also got that fresh feeling to it. I think there is a middle ground you can hit sometimes. It's just like finding the right place for the fans, I guess, which is never fucking easy.
Yeah.
And we'd spend our weeks moaning on here, by the way.
You always
that's fine. And sort of comic art, everyone moans about stuff and has opinions about things, and that's absolutely fine.
Yeah. Absolutely.
If we like something, we're not going to be happy about a certain version of it at some point. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's how you go about. Sometimes, because there's loads of stuff that I'm like, I'm not a fan of that, but I just step back and go, well, it's just not for me then.
Right? Exactly. I'm not even going to say don't say anything, because you are allowed to have a discussion about these things.
Yeah, exactly.
But there's space to do it, and don't involve.
The internet is an argument in an empty room anyway.
Right? Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, you must have also been aware of that sort of thing. I mean, working in 2000 AD. I mean, what a community to have an opinion on things.
They'll pull you across the table and bash you up that long.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. 7 links in the chain.
Yeah, exactly. Come to the bar now. Yeah, like that, isn't it? Yeah.
Is it really that bad about that chain on Judge Dredd?
No,
they do like to have a go about it. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they're quite specific about a few things. Yeah. God bless them. It's because of the passion, though. I got to love them. You know.
Exactly.
Fan does come from fanatic. So.
True. That's very true.
The thing about 2000 AD, we said it before. 2000 AD is its own hobby. It's not just you can be a comic fan and be into 2000 AD, but some of the guys, that's all they want to read.
No, I completely agree. I don't think there's a massive, because it's always been a newsstand thing left over from kind of 70s and 80s where kids would just go in and buy that thing. I agree. I don't think it's really a comic shop comic.
Yeah, I agree completely. Yeah, and the magazine. I think the same with both. Yeah.
Are there any genres you'd like to take a punt at? Because I must say, when Tony said, "Oh, he's doing New Gods," I was like, I did not have that on the bingo card.
Yeah, that's true.
No, not me. I found that really I did find it difficult because it's just so out of my wheelhouse. It was nice to be pushed, really. I went and got some life drawing classes. I had a moment of panic, like, Christ, I need to learn how to draw people.
No, really?
Yeah. Went and sort of because I haven't done it for a long time.
It's a bit like Dave Stevens did that, didn't he? Famously, he went and did a load of life drawing and stuff, and sort of went back to. Interesting.
Went back to the source.
Wow.
Genres I'd like to do. Don't I? I've got a hankering. I'd quite like to do a kind of 1960s space race kind of story. Just because I like that level of technology. That's sort of
doing
all the spaceships look like penises. That sort of thing. You saying?
They just flow through space, don't they?
Yeah,
that's right.
Large bit at the end. Yeah.
Large bulbous end.
What was the Flash Gordon?
Let's not interrogate this any further.
I'm writing a pitch for Flash Gordon.
2 large generators at the back.
Okay. Professor Jerkoff and Pye Parr.
I mean, Professor Jerkoff.
That was his name, wasn't it?
Flash
Gordon.
Yeah.
I've never seen Flash Gordon. It was sort of.
It lives like it's not as good as it lives up to.
My mate Luke, the guy Luke I mentioned earlier, his elder brother had a copy of Flash Gordon on DVD, and it was always sort of a slightly mythical status when we were
absolutely the same with me. Absolutely, I was always aware of it, and it slightly scared me.
Yeah.
for our, I don't watch porno, but Dan watches it a lot. It doesn't really have that sort of money poured into it. But back then, they had proper spaceships and monsters and all sorts in that. The Penisauruses, they were quite well made. I'm going to be honest with you. They even did a sequel, didn't they? The Cheerleaders from Mars. They did a sequel.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Back when form was art.
Wow. Yeah. Perhaps that's a franchise that needs rebooting.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I'm the man for you. I'll happily research that.
Tony Rats.
A Penisaurus. Oh, God. What has this become? Every time, what does this show become? So then, what does the future hold for you? Obviously, Petrol Head is in the pipeline, and
I have recently cleared my decks. I've finished all my jobs and not taken on anything else deliberately because I've got a fairly big thing coming up, but I can't tell you what it is.
No,
yeah. But I am doing Petrol Head as well, so that's all I'm going to be doing for quite a long time, I think.
Yeah. So the fill-in issue for Transformers is coming soon, yeah. Oh, look at your face! I almost got you, didn't I?
He was going to have a go. Yeah. But what? So you got Petrol Head and this other project.
Another thing.
Are you going to be doing them both at the same time? Is that what you?
Yeah, obviously the other thing will probably take up most of my time, but which is why I've stopped doing everything else because I'm kind of I don't know. I've been juggling stuff for a while. You were saying about how do I find covers? The hardest thing I find is jumping between jobs. I much prefer to be on something bigger because you can wake up in the morning and know exactly what you've got to do. Yeah. Whereas if I'm doing a cover, especially because I work in quite varied ways, I have to approach how I'm going to do it as well as what I'm going to do, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. It's got a design aesthetic to it, sort of thing. You got to come.
Yeah, exactly. So am I going to paint it? Am I going to make it a design sort of led thing? Am I going to draw something? And then I've got to come up with a design. And I find that really slows me down. Starting jobs is the hardest thing. A cover might take 1 or 2 days, but there's probably a day of piddling around before I start. So all of a sudden, a day at the start of a project that's going to take you 6 months is nothing. But a day on a project that only takes you a day is a bit more of an issue.
Yeah, I get you, man. I get you. Yeah. Are you quite disciplined around your work hours, are you? Or?
Yeah.
The pubs are open.
No, I'm pretty good. I sort of have to work around the kids and the dog and stuff, really. So my wife starts work at 8:00, so I normally end up taking the kids to school. Then I walk the dog for an hour, so it's normally 10:30 before I start.
Right.
So I tend to work until 5 or 6, and then I might do another bit in the evening.
And what's that setup like? Do you just like set up, put on some music, and then what is your sort of?
Music or sort of or a podcast generally. Depends what I'm doing. If I'm reading something, then music.
Okay.
Yeah, but I quite like listening to podcasts about murders.
That's a fairly rare subject, surely. There's not that many podcasts.
It's really hard to find a podcast on that, actually.
They'll start eating themselves. Well, they've got to run out of murders soon.
Yeah,
that's right. They'll start killing each other just for boring.
So for any of our lovely listeners and artists out there, would you have any... I mean, obviously you've got a natural passion for drawing technological stuff and cars and machinery and stuff. But for those who don't necessarily, it can be a challenge. What tips would you have for someone who's going to take on because as I'm sure you're perfectly aware, as artists, we always seem to create some great albatross. Like, why have I decided to do a book about horses? Something like that. They always set up hurdles for themselves. What tips would you have for someone who's going to take on something quite technical?
Specific, like as in like a technical drawing?
Yeah, I would say like if they want to do some robots, just say, I mean, you can't just
design heavy is what
do a Gundam. Do you know what I mean? You can't just do something like that because that's quite specific, isn't it? And we can always tell when someone's doing a robot comic and they're not really putting the effort in.
Are you sort of 3D modelling them and using that and all this sort of thing, or?
No, I don't. I mean, I will use 3D models sometimes. Especially like if I've got something recurring in the story over and over again, like Petrol Head's car. I've got very simple. My skills I'm not a 3D artist, so I have got like a block with 4 wheels on it, which I can give me perspective, and then I draw all the stuff onto those pages.
Oh, wow!
So all of the detail in the car is hand drawn, but the perspective is given to me by this kind of cube thing.
That's a great idea.
So you take photos of that, how you want to.
Yeah, I literally I use Google SketchUp, so I'll like and big perspective drawings. I'll tend to do just extrude blocks to give me a frame to work on, and then put the details on top. But I won't always do that, and I try not to. Like the more you lean on that, the more it tends to look a bit dead, I think. So
you're a bit stiff sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, that's not to say there's no harm in doing that stuff. Plenty of people do. I don't know really.
Because there is a point, like you say, where there's the technological and the organic. Even a book that's all about robots can still have a little bit of organic in it, isn't it? Because if it's all technological, like you say,
personality.
It doesn't. It feels lifeless.
Yes. It's more that like if you're using 3D stuff a lot of the time, it just looks like it's still. You need to bend stuff a bit to give it a bit of dynamism. So the more
do you remember that?
Especially if you want it to look like it's moving, the more you do by hand, it will naturally kind of go that way. But I tend to, like, if I'm drawing technological stuff, especially robots, think about how they move. So like if you want it to bend in a certain place, look at anything. It doesn't have to be a robot, like just any piece of machinery, an arm off, like a suspension arm off a car, or a crane, and you can see the shapes in the sort of all the noodly little bits. You can see the shapes that you need to draw to make it look really. Even if you don't draw all the pipes or all the pistons or all that sort of stuff, you can get an idea of how those shapes meet and the kind of shadows they cast. So you can kind of fudge it a little bit, really, and make it look more complicated than it is.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Because sometimes you can put like pistons and wires. I mean, like putting loads of wires and tubes and stuff.
It
creates the illusion of it like being.
Yeah, that's right. But then you've got to think about again, like. Robots are built for a purpose, so depending on what your robot has to do, you might want to use that as an inspiration for how to make the shapes flow together, or how the bits that aren't pipes. What are they going to look like? Are they going to be big flat, like sort of Japanese robots or Transformers have a lot of flat panes, whereas Petrol Head is very round.
Okay.
Yeah. So
a bit more kind of steampunk, I suppose.
So I guess you need to have influences. I mean, it reminds me of Pacific Rim, which I love the first film, but like all of the giant robots, like there's one that looks like the Russian one looks like a nuclear power station. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Right.
Almost different genre.
Yeah, so they've taken that aesthetic from some Russian tank or whatever and applied it to something else, and that's exactly that's kind of what I mean.
Is that something you do? So like you'll look at a vehicle and then just sort of tweak it and.
Yes, yeah, exactly. And like try and follow the design language of what existed before. So if there's a shape you find yourself using, repeat it somewhere else. So it doesn't look like you've got a leg made in one factory and a head made in the other. Yeah. It looks like it's all come out of the same place. That's what helps make characters kind of enjoy.
Because that's the thing. Like I've never been like a car person. My brother's a mechanic, so he's literally the petrol head. But I was always about the aesthetics of them. So even if you don't know them, like a vehicle evokes emotion, doesn't it? It evokes a feeling. As soon as you see something, you're like, that looks like a great car. That looks sleek. That looks chunky. That looks scary. It can be anything, can't it? A vehicle. Like I love the fact that each one of yours seems to have a sort of character in it. And is Petrol Head 2 going to have some new? Without spoiling anything. There are going to be some new vehicles that you're going to regret drawing in the future.
Yes. there's in the very first episode. There's about 5 new characters turn up who are kind of like. I'm not going to tell you.
Okay.
But they're not necessarily bad guys, but they are Petrol Head's adversaries, and they're quite different from him. So obviously he's going to hate them just on principle.
Cool.
Whether they deserve it or not.
Good.
Yeah.
And they've all got their own vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
awesome.
Dude, your work as well is tailor-made for a toy line at some point. You know, why are we not? You know, where are the Petrol Head cars? Do you know what I mean? The toy cars.
I'd love a sort of McFarlane toy of Petrol Head.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. God, that'd be so good. But where can people go to find your art? Of which your store and your site is lovely to look at, and people can buy prints and all kinds. So where can they go to find you, etc., and buy your stuff?
If you want to buy prints and things, or even some original art, although most of it's run out, go to pyeparr.com, and I'm on Instagram and everything else at Pye Parr.
Nice.
Bro.
This has been. I mean, we're going to get you on to talk about Petrol Head 2, no doubt, and whatever you've done.
Definitely.
That you've been hiding from us. And seeing how you're feeling about it after these 2 jobs in 2026. But thank you for joining us, dude. This has been amazing.
Oh yeah, thank you for asking me. It's nice to chat to you all.
And there we have it. Another long overdue guest. I've been talking about it for fucking years.
Yeah. Have you been chasing him for an interview for that long? I don't know.
No. Half the time, it's a lot of the time it's you get in contact with someone and something's really busy, and then you mean to come back at it, and before you know it, half a year's gone by, and you're like, "Where's time?"
We spoke to him lawless time before last.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fucking hell, where's that time gone?"
Yeah.
Blasted by.
He's got lovely long locks now.
He's a bit of a Vince lookalike. Another one to add to the lookalike folder that we keep.
Wow, everyone's trying to look like me.
Yeah,
poor bastard.
This is an audio medium, but when he got out those paintings he'd done of the cars, they're like, fucking hell, man, they're really good.
Yeah, it's another one of those. Oh, great, he can paint as well.
Yeah, very, very talented individual.
Yeah. But obviously, plenty to look forward to in the new year. With the 2 big projects and probably something else, you know, it's going to be good. It's going to be a lot more. And it'd be interesting to see if in the future, probably not next year, what other covers he does. I need to dig out that Outland one. I was thinking about that. I've never seen Outland, and I've wanted I've wanted to see it. I
like it.
When Arrow were
High Noon,
they're re-releasing it, aren't they? And I saw like a new advert for it, and it was put together very well. And I thought, oh, that's one I think I'd really like.
Been on. I've got it on Blu-ray. It's been out before on Blu-ray, but
Peter Hyams, isn't it? I like that.
Yeah, it's High Noon. If you know the story of High Noon, it's basically that. Yeah.
It's good. I only watched that recently. That's a fucking great film.
What, High Noon?
Yeah. It's like a fucking nightmare. Like this real big problem's coming. You're trying to get people to help you out, and they're like, nah.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Everyone's like, no, it's too much for me, fella. Yeah, it's not as good as Bionic Showdown, but it's pretty good.
Well, what could be?
Good point.
What's Bionic Showdown?
It's when they came back and did a load of Bionic Man's TV movies.
I watched
because I can see it now. It's over there.
I watched a Toy Galaxy that talked about, partly Bionic Man, because it was talking about the animated show Bionic 6. Do you remember that, Dan?
Oh yes,
Oh, no,
yeah, I
I've seen
saw
that
that video
show.
pop up.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that it could have been really big, but it just didn't quite hit.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think. You know, like the TV shows based on toy lines, and it just didn't.
Yeah.
$6 Million Man is my jam, mate. That's, I think, because I'm a bit older than you. That was my jam. That was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a massive show.
Airing on one of the channels at the moment. I'm not
Yeah,
sure
I occasionally watch it. Yeah, I've got all the box sets, but yeah.
Wow. But the $6 million question is: do we have any shout-outs, gents?
Yes, I've got a couple. So, DUI 4 is coming your way soon. Go if you haven't heard about it, then you should have done because it was on last week's episode with Simon.
Yes, go back and listen to that. Very good.
Money's going to the Cartoon Museum, and I bagged the inks for the cover from Zack Cahill. I bought it off everyone.
Mate, that's fucking what a ledge. That's lovely.
Lovely cover. Yeah.
I love Zack's Patreon, by the way. I love Zack's Patreon. I signed up for that. And
such a good Patreon, isn't it?
Currently doing that, like the pulp book chapter a week.
He's doing that as well as Monkey. What's that one called? He's doing the Predator and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Was that finished now?
I don't know. The other one's finished, isn't it? Monkey. Can't remember what it's called.
I can't remember. Sorry, Zach.
I've saved up to read it, but the
I've done the same. Yeah, I saw one page of it. I thought I need to go back and check all of it.
Me and Charlie have got him onto reading those sort of pulp novels, Mac Bolan and stuff that I'm always cracking on about, and he's enjoyed it so much. He's kind of written his own new version of it, or not version of it, but it's a similar sort of vibe. Yeah, it reads really well. Good stuff. Only 1 week left to bag your deluxe version of Hellbreaker on Kickstarter. Now, what you may not know is the deluxe version with the extra story is only in the deluxe, which is only on Kickstarter. So you won't be able to get that extra story unless you back it on Kickstarter. So you need to go and do that. It's killing it, but get over and have a look at that if you haven't done it. I think that's mine, all of mine. Yeah,
nice. Dan, what have you got?
I wanted to give a shout out to anyone who helped promote back or follow the Vyper Red Shirt campaign. Man. Cheers, that was awesome. Absolutely smashed it, and I've been working on it since, and it's coming along great.
What's that like? I mean, how do you set up? Because obviously you started work on it, and you did a lot of work before the Kickstarter campaign even started.
This is the first one I've done that I've not completed before.
Okay.
I had to send it out. All the others were like done, and I just sent them.
Yeah.
But this one is going to be finished off over Christmas, January, and then out to you in February.
I mean, that's still amazingly
nice.
You know, I guess you've already broken the back of it before. By this
stage.
Like
the first third is done. It's pretty much all kind of written. It's I've laid out the book. I've done the covers. I've got the rib done. It's all the gubbins are done. It's just kind of like
walking
it in.
Yeah, nice.
So it's all going good. I've also got a shout out to the Illustrators Fair this Saturday, the 6th of December. Over 120 contemporary illustrators selling prints, scenes, comics, books, and many other beautiful illustrator products. Granary Building on Granary Square, King's Cross, N1.
I've been to that before. That's quite a good show, that. Yeah, there's usually quite a few comic people at it. I think Rachel Ball does it. Yeah, a few others.
Open 11 till 5, so do go check that one out. I think that is it. I was going to give a shout out to Hellbreaker, but you've done it so much better than I. So go check that out.
God, we're so good.
Have you got a celebrity crush, Dan?
Currently,
I got mine is Cat Slater in an Avalanche.
That's very specific.
Yeah,
so she'd be crushed. Should we talk about buttered sausage?
Yeah, buttered sausage.
Yeah, okay.
Well, my neighbours are in adult films, aren't they? They don't know that yet. But...
Jesus Christ. You know, we got to make a living somehow.
Yeah.
A furry and a cosplayer.
Yeah.
Jump off a cliff to see who hits the ground first. Who wins? Society. Right, moving on.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh dear. There was one brief topic I just wanted to touch on before we go to the recommends. And it was kind of, and I think this is a topic that we will explore more maybe towards the end of the year or in the new year. but we've talked a little bit about it about money in comics. Now, what I mean is like, you know, page rates, and you know the company's not paying well.
Obviously, done the rounds again, isn't it? The old page rate thing.
Yeah. Obviously, you hear, you know, horror stories. Sometimes it's probably nonsense. Sometimes it's absolutely on the money. Pardon the pun. It's almost like a real. Comics is such a difficult thing to make your bones from now. That, and we've spoken off air that even some of the big names that we wish could do regular comic gigs, there's no money in it, so they're just doing covers, they're just doing commissions, or they just, you know, luckily they have such a name that they can resort to the commissions at the shows and stuff. You know, why do you? It just makes me sad a little bit. I think, you know, there is. You can work.
The numbers are as big as they are they?
Yeah,
like...
but you can do a T-shirt, or you can, you know, do a print, or you can do a lovely bit of art, you know, like one-off piece, and you can sell that, or you can spend months, perhaps even a year, or plus, on this wonderful medium that we like, you know, comics, etc. From beginning, middle, and end, you pour everything into it, and people just browse and then move on, and they won't pick it up.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know about you guys. Now that's why I think this should be a bigger discussion. But I can't compute that. Do you know what I mean? My brain's like, how can people not give it a chance or not give it a fair shake?
I think we rely on the intelligence of the modern world, then we're going to fucking lose out, aren't we? People are generally just idiots.
Yeah,
like so with Pye's stuff. Yeah. If they see like he does a whole comic about like Petrol Head, or like he mainly shipping the units. But if he did a print of a cool looking car and a T-shirt that gets sold in like a high street store, that'd do fucking numbers.
And the markup
just,
probably a lot more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
and if people say.
And again, we could go and work in fucking hedge fund banking, couldn't we? And we'd be millionaires.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's that.
If someone says, "I want to make a living in comics, but I can't make a living in comics," you can't make a living in comics. What do you want?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If it doesn't pay the bills, it doesn't pay the bills.
Yeah.
So
it is
no amount of sort of like teeth gnashing and kind of wailing that.
Yeah.
It should.
It is like, for instance, you know, so when people go, oh, you know, if you're like a novelist who's got like a couple of, you know, really good selling books and stuff. And people just think, oh, they've got a book that's in the top 20 or was a #1 bestseller on the Amazon wish list. That's obviously their full-time job. I just want to burst out a bubble for you, because a lot of these people are doing it in their own time. They don't, because there's no money there for it, you know. And I think comics is a similar sort of thing, and it's the same for a lot of creative mediums, isn't it? People look at it and go, oh, they're doing something creative, so they're obviously getting paid well for it.
No, it's not always the case.
And that's just not.
I don't know. It's like I remember seeing something years ago about the classical music charts, and someone saying, "Oh, you're doing well. You're into the top 10 of the classical musical charts," and they said, "Well, that just means I sold 200 CDs."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible, really. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's, you know, we were talking the other week about like unionizing and stuff, but I just don't know how you can do that in comics.
And I think you. Really
I wouldn't be a member of it. I wouldn't want to be a member of it.
Would be someone say to Dan Butcher should be on the same page rate as Pye Parr. So I don't know how you would even fucking begin to make that argument. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's such a nuanced argument. There's so many different publishers. There's so many different versions of a comic. There's so many different types of people doing it. It's also a negotiation. Yeah. It's a difficult thing to say. Right, it should be
audiences, quality.
Yeah.
You know, everything.
Genre. Yeah.
And I think some people just need to be careful when they're, you know, because obviously there's no money in it, and it is hard and it is a grind, but you have to be careful about, oh, there's no money in it, I can't do this. It's like, well, that's the same for.
Yeah, but I was speaking to Peter Tomasi about this at Baltimore, and he said it's when you get picked up for a movie. It's as simple as that for him. For a lot of people who are like at the coalface, great writers, in and out doing great work, but when they get picked up for a movie, that's when they'll be able to pay their mortgage off. You know, they're going to have before that.
Average sort of small press person, that's this fucking pie in the sky talk, isn't it? That's that's like saying you win the lottery. You
win the lottery in small press if you make your money back.
Yeah.
from any venture.
And you got to keep it's the grind, and it is a grind. Like these, there's so many writers that have probably they've had stuff optioned or like this thing in the ether, but that may not come to be. Whereas,
man, good as gold if it does. I wish everyone.
I wish you the most, the best. Yeah, I'm one of those blokes. If you're making money from comics, I'm fucking behind you. Well done. Yeah. But I have a reasonably well-paid job, so that I can make comics. That's how I do it. I don't make money from comics. I never probably will.
I think we all get a bit frustrated when people turn up thinking, "No, this is going to be my ticket to the big time."
We always see it coming, don't we? Yeah. We always see it
a mile off.
Yeah,
you usually see them drift away because they realise.
Yeah, just do it because you love it, man. That's for our little world. Not necessarily all the big corporate manga and Marvel and DC. For our little world, do it because you love it. That's
I think that's one of the things that maybe it doesn't get my back at so much about like the AI comic stuff. It's like there's hardly any money in here anyway. So what? This massive like expenditure of resources trying to make AI comics for what?
I put a bottoms, my tops and bottoms I do every week. I put a bottoms which looked like an AI comic, and so I thought, I should check my facts. So I said, "Is this an AI comic?" And he said, "Yeah, about." I think he said something like about 50%. It's AI, and I said, by that time I'd done some reading on it, and I said, "Well, you say 70% on your website," and he says it's hard to estimate how much is AI. I think, no, it isn't.
Yeah. How's that? What
the fuck does that mean?
Because I was on my recommend coming up. I was on Global Comics. I've knocked that on the head, and I searching for the comic. There was loads of it, and I searched for capes, and there's loads of titles that are all kind of like that.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's anyway. It was an interesting topic. I think it's a debate that rages on. Let us know what you think. I mean, I'm sure our lovely listeners are going to have opinions on many things that we've talked about.
Man.
Even if it's just our debatable VHS
Dan's
collections.
porn habits.
Yeah. But what you can also debate is this week's recommendations. And Dan's first.
This week, he's got a bunch.
He's going to shotgun us. Oh.
Yeah. Ooh.
Well, a slight addendum. Last week we mentioned in the show notes Birthmark Girl, and it wasn't in there.
Yeah, didn't go into it, do we?
So I'm gonna talk about Birthmark Girl right now. I put this in. It's from.
It's the dramatic way that you teed that up. Sorry,
writer creator Jake Clements. Apologies. Art and lettering Zack. They recently debuted this at MCM.
I saw that on Instagram that they were doing an MCM thing.
So, I think it did really well. They it's a black and white comic that they both done between. I'm not sure how much creation Zack had on it. Maybe it's just the art and not so much the
so I'm right in saying the writer has got a birthmark. So there's an element of autobio in it somewhere, I guess.
Yes, I mean, coming out, I've got a family member who's that's similar.
Right.
And one of the big shout outs to it in the back of the story, they've got links to places you can go if you want to find out more about this.
Good. Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, we always say that.
Yeah, well done, guys. Yeah.
Cool. So it gives you the origin story of the superhero Birthmark Girl and how her powers develop, and we sort of get a tee into the next issue. I believe they're aiming for an issue 2 at it says May 2026. I think
I'm guessing that's
gun for the next MCM.
MCM again, yeah.
So if you're interested in checking out this book, go to www.jakeclement.com. You got the comic there and merchandise and behind the scene information, or you can use the hashtag birthmarkgirl1. So go check that one out.
Nice.
What's your next one, baby cakes? You gonna do it? You got 3. You're gonna do 2 now.
Yeah, so I'll jump in now, and if he does the middle one, then he. Yeah.
I got a big chunk to do in the middle then.
Yeah. My quick one, which I'm just gonna jump in, comes with a sort of a semi shout out as well to our lovely pal Dan Charnley.
Yeah.
Who?
How much are pints in London again? What's that all about?
Too fucking much.
Yeah.
I'm sure he would tell you.
Yeah. The man that if you wanted to raise money for Christmas, give him a swear box.
Dan's Monsters, love it.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. And he sent me some lovely stuff in the post, including a bit of original art that I'm going to.
I love his monsters, man. That is gorgeous.
Yeah. I mean, over the years, we've seen his twisted, dark monster art just go from strength to strength.
Yeah.
But he's also just one of the nicest people in comics as well. So
me and him have definitely got a Venn diagram of all our interests meeting in the middle.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
And a list of car parks that you meet at.
Yeah. Flash your headlights twice.
Yeah. He sent me a couple of books from Afterlight Comics, which I'm looking forward to getting in.
What'd you get? Come on, tell us.
The Passenger of U977.
Nice.
Oh, that's from.
That's a great cover.
Yeah, Afterlight. And Pest Control, which I'm looking forward to. Yeah, that's quality.
Actually, they're just like Image Comics. Yeah, Joey does a good job, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's a couple of books from Adam Woodliff called A Tragedy in Death and A Walk in Death, which are side quest comics, which are like a art comics with a little bit of gaming inside them. So I'm not quite sure what these are going to be yet. I haven't cracked them.
That's right up your alley.
Yeah, so I'm going to see what that's like. But the one that I immediately sort of was drawn to is from Luke Michael Copsey, which is a name I feel like I know.
He's been on the show, hasn't he?
Been on the show. He did one of the Aliens.
Alien comics. That's it. Yeah. And this is Consenting Adults, Part 1 of Fishing in a Black Hole.
Dan's eyebrows go up.
This is it's the first part in a collection called Fishing in a Black Hole. Parts 1 to 6 may seem random and unrelated, but issue 7 is the glue that binds.
Big shout.
And it says on the inside cover, dreams, desire, obsession, and violence. And I tell you what, this is a really striking little artistic endeavour. This, like red and black.
I like that.
Yeah.
Nice.
The cover itself is a lovely sort of wrap. I didn't realise until I'll just about to show the chaps now, but it's like a wraparound.
That reminds me of that time we shared a room together, Vince.
Well, that was a bit nightmarish as well, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wraparound.
But it's much like that. This is full of twisted nightmarish imagery. Lot of eyeballs and suggestive openings
with an eyeball in it. That would worry me. If I went down and there was an eyeball looking at me.
I mean, this is
like
somewhat dreamlike. It's less of a sort of structured narrative, and yet I feel it's going somewhere. Very Lynchian in its way. Do you know what I mean? Which is, and I was drawn to the fact that he says 1 to 6 may seem unrelated, but issue 7 is the glue that binds. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes.
See where that goes.
Nevercity.co.uk. That's Nevercity, all in one word. To go to his website. I was really taken by this. It's like red and black as well, and I really like that as a colour scheme. It's a brave colour scheme to use for printing. Don't they say, like, when you use red and black ink, you can't photocopy it? Isn't it like when they do film scripts, and they don't want them
is that right?
Stuff? Yeah.
That can't still be right, can it?
I don't know. Not that I'm going to photocopy this, but any one of these pages could be a lovely print.
I mean, mine's quite red down there, and when I photocopy it, it seems to come up.
Comes out right.
Yeah.
It's a different. Is it black as well though?
No, it's quite red at the moment.
At the end.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. And
necrosis.
Yeah. What?
It's a different colour than the rest of your body, isn't it?
And
depends where it is.
Yeah. And he also chucked in Dan Charlie, Daily Monsters Volume 1.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was nice. So follow him Instagram at Dan's Monsters and YouTube.com at the Monster Bomb Club. So there you go. Go follow him. Follow all these creators because it's just great nightmarish stuff. Dan.
The second one I've came across this. Someone was talking about it in a comics group, and I was like, "That sounds interesting. I'll give that a read." It's called Timestop, Ugly Old Man, and the subheader for it: an old man has a watch that can freeze time. What will he do with it? So this is like a manga comic, and it sets it up that this is going to be like a dodgy comic where there's this old creepy man who can stop time and like have his way with people. In fact, he's really wholesome and really nice bloke. So he sets up these scenarios where it's sort of like there's some young girl and he freezes the clock, and you think, oh god, what's going to happen here? And then he moves her out of the way of like a speeding truck, and everything's fine. And there's all these setups where you think he's going to be dodgy, but actually he's massively wholesome and helps the people out. And everyone's giving him the just like us.
Yes,
really unsavory, but
I like that as a concept because it plays on what the reader thinks.
Yes, that's exactly what it is every time.
I do worry about your tendency to just rush into these sort of comics, though, Dan. Like that, like Timestop, Ugly Old Man. It's not something that many of us would go, I'm going to give that a go.
Oh yeah, I was going to give it a go. I was like, oh fuck it. I was
like, it's like googling.
The browser
Gary
history's
Oldman.
already ruined, so I might as well just go for it.
It's like googling Gary Oldman and missing out the R, isn't it? It's a problem.
Yeah, always happens to me.
Why's it all I filled that again, Vince? Oh, typo.
Damn autocorrect.
Yeah, but it's genuinely it's only 12, 13 chapters of it, and it's like it's just a little fun little read. You can blast through it in 10, 15 minutes.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to give you. If you search Timestop Ugly Old Man, it'll pop up. But it's at namicomi.com. NAMICOMI.com.
Cool. That's good.
I'll link to that in the Substack.
Yeah, nice work, man.
Nice.
Cool.
Okay, Tony.
Yeah, so I volunteered. It's slightly different this week because I've got two which I'm going to do at once. Because excuse me, by the way, because I've got a terrible cold as well. So they're both A5 Small Press UK comics. Both are done by two men of pretty much comparative age to me. Both done by two men who I know, and I'm free. You know, I enjoy their company. I like chatting to them about comics and stuff. Both have a sort of melancholy, introspective element to them. Both of them travel up and down their timelines, their life's timelines, in a way. I'm not going to critically compare them because I think what's it Zappa said about dancing to architecture. I don't think they deserve or can be compared to each other, but they do have sort of certain similarities. And it was really nice to get them both. They both were sent to me because they've enjoyed our reviews on here, which I think is really nice.
That's
and both the listeners. Yeah. So the first one is by our buddy Paul Ashley Brown. It's called Brown and Knowle, Volume 2, Issue 3, which is kind of a series of stuff he does of little short stories. I'm a long-term follower and a fan of Paul's work. He did a back cover for us for Atomic Hercules at one point as well, just because he fancied doing it. It's really nice.
That's brilliant. Yeah.
It came with the way he does this. I thoroughly suggest ordering this, and I'll give you the website in a minute. Is he wraps them in a bit of cardboard? It's like folds it over, and on the back and front of the cardboard he's folded over to protect the comic, he draws on. So I've got the original art, and then inside it is like it's like Alec Toth's. Have you ever seen a postcard by Alex Toth? Or I'll tell you who's comparable is in a way is in sort of small press way is Nick Prolex's lettering. If you ever see a letter from Nick Prolex, it's very specific, and it's like that. It's that very neat lettering, and he takes a piss out of me, and he takes a piss out of himself, and it's a lovely little thing to get. He did it once before for something else. He sent me a Dread sketch as well. I love that when I get small press. Like I know on the Slack when we send things backwards and forwards. Whenever I say, whenever I send something to Bunsey or Simon, I do this sort of eyeball monster thing I draw. You know, and I like that. I like that we got carried away with it. You could barely see the address on some of the envelopes that fly about from the Slack. You know what I mean? But so this one skips about in style as well as time. There's the final story, which I'll talk about in a minute, is a traditionally panelled story, which is called Through a Small Window, a Big Sky, which is such a lovely title, absolutely lovely. But you also get almost collaged stories without panel borders. You get one-page illustrations with text running down the side of them and stuff like that. But it's all lovely and in at moments sad as well. There's Paul talks about how he couldn't sleep when he was younger and would go for these long 2-hour walks and stuff, and really interesting. But the comic story in it really caught me today. I really enjoyed it, and I think it's probably one of the best things I've read from the small press in a while. And it's as I say, it's the one that's called Through a Small Window, a Big Sky, and it follows a woman, and she's previously taken her very sick mother on a cruise. I've never been on a cruise. Have you two been on a cruise?
No.
I don't know whether I'd like it, but anyway, she's taken on a cruise, and now she's gone on a cruise on her own, and she's sort of flashing backwards and forwards a little bit. Her name's Gillian, about remembering her mum, and she goes for a swim and she thinks that's her mum looking at her, or she goes for a walk through the town and there's a monk and she thinks, oh, is that my mum? No, it's not my mum. I don't know if you've ever had a close family member die, but you kind of see them sometimes. It's a syndrome, you know, where you see, oh, and it's not them, you know. There's a bit of that going on. But while out, she meets a guy called Milo on the beach, who's a local guy. I think it's Greece or someone like that. And they chat, and there's this they have a lovely moment alone, standing in the sea, chatting. And Paul draws the woman swimming underwater with the fish swimming past her just beautifully, like exceptionally. And then they bump into each other in a restaurant, and you begin to think there's something going on here. And I think it's the cynic in me sometimes, and the person who is used to twisting the tale narratives and stories going off and people not being who they are and stuff. And he plays a bit with that concept. She has a terrible nightmare in the middle of it about how she's buried up to her neck in sand and the man is standing next to her. And it's you know, it's very palpably a horrible nightmare. And you think what Paul is doing there, you think he's foreshadowing what's going to happen at the end of the story. But he plays with that. He really does, in a really interesting way, and a gentle and a natural way. And I don't think I've read better dialogue in a small press comic for a long time. Nice. I think we get a bit tired these days of Twitter talk in comics, aren't we? Cough, totally. X-Men, cough, cough. You know, and this is just like two adults talking to each other, and you know the way a conversation overlaps. I remember Bendis used to be quite good at it. You know, you have that overlapping dialogue, and like you've only got if you wrote down the dialogue of us, we're always talking over each other and stuff. But it makes sense because that's the human world, you know. Yeah. And it's really well done, really touching, and really transports you into these moments of these two people, and extremely touched by it. Very, very good. The rest of the comics in it are sometimes slightly shorter. There's one with a sort of strange moment of horror that I kind of feel is a mixture between 80s UK small press and maybe Misty or something like that. These children discover these dead bodies in a railway line, and it just had a touch of old school OG British comics horror, and you know, like something out of Action or something like that. For that one, go to paulashleybrowonart.com. I've actually bought this again twice for you two. So, as soon as I read it, I bought it. So I'll get you two a copy. Absolutely stunning, just beautifully done. Lovely colour cover of just a woman singing it. It looks like a sort of Greek town, you know, sort of thing. You can find Paul on Instagram at Paul Ashley Brown. Very simple to find it. I feel a bit bad because he was messaging me on Facebook Messenger. I haven't had Facebook for years, but Messenger hung on a bit. You know, have you ever seen this? It sort of hangs on, and I think I changed my phone and I couldn't log back into it. So I thought, oh, maybe it's just gone away. So if you are listening to this and you're trying to catch me on Messenger, I am not on there. I'm also not on Facebook. So people who say, "Oh, I've tried to contact you on Facebook." No, you haven't, because I haven't had.
Don't try and reach out to us on Facebook.
Join the Slack.
Join the Slack, exactly.
If you really want to go Instagram or Twitter, not on Facebook, because we don't get to check that.
We don't see it, but yeah, like you say, Vince, the best way is to join the Slack, and the link will be in the Substack tomorrow. The second one I want to talk about, because it's also from another bloke, and I don't want to sort of sound it like, oh, I'm only reviewing two bloke, you know, English blokes or British blokes, and they're you know, in their 50s and they've done comics, and it's just because I find it relatable, I guess, because I'm that, so I find the stories relatable in a way. And especially the settings, you know, I was a teenager in the 80s. They were a teenager in the 80s. We probably experienced the same music scene, probably, you know, this sort of thing. So this one's Life's a Party. Then There Was Time, ? So Then There Was Time is the lovely title to this one. It's by Sean Azzopardi again. Kindly sent to me by Sean. I'm always saying, let's get him on. I'm always saying it's him, but we really should. Yeah. Because he's a thoughtful comic maker. I always sit next to him at... We're sitting near to him at Bridlington every year, and we always have a nice chat about comics and stuff. And I took a mate of mine to Bridlington this year, and he talked him through his process and stuff. It's really lovely of him. So Sean is a dude with a massive love for the medium, in the same way that I know Paul has, and he uses it. I'm sometimes slightly unfair on autobiographical comics. I just got a bit sick of them being a little bit too about. I just call them like, oh, well, this is me being sad comics. Yeah. And I think you have to have a story to tell if you're telling an autobiographical story. And I think you also have a specific style that you should be telling it in. Don't just do like just sitting on the couch being sad comics. But this one he does, and he skips about in his life, same as Paul does in that first story. Sean probably does it more in his comics. He skips about in his own timeline and talks about his life, and is often painfully very honest about it. And I don't think regretful, but I just think honest is probably the way to put it, I guess.
Fair enough.
This covers his young and sometimes carefree life, travelling between homes, happy places and those not so joyful. There's a crisscrossing of some of the periods we've seen in previous comics of his. For example, his father appears. I know we talked about his father in the previous comic and the awful story that was connected to that, but we get a moment of that. We get a flare up from his father where he's holding a hammer over someone's head. And Sean in the story bounces between homes and jobs, but he never seems to settle in this comic. And his own, he has lots of jobs. He's not a lazy man, but he never has a career, I suppose, within the confines of this comic. And you don't have to have a career, but he seems a bit homeless from a spiritual point of view.
Okay.
He describes the good times. There's a lot of talk about parties, a lot of talk about soft drugs. There's a lot of talk about drinking. There's a lot of talk about friends, but there's also a little talk about being lonely. And also we've talked about his comics since we started this podcast. I found one the other day. I'm going through all my comics and I found one in the little pile that was in a long box, which was when we started talking about comics, and I sort of filed them away and stuff like that. And on the back cover there's a photograph of him at the time reading some poetry, which is quite a cool little thing, which he talks about a little bit about in his if you go to his Instagram and stuff. But this is a really interesting project. He does other projects. I think Life's Apart is probably my favourite thing he does at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, they're easy to find. You can go to Fat Comics, PHAT, fatcomics.co.uk, on Instagram, Fat Print Comics. You can find it. They also sell them in Gosh. I suspect they also sell them in a few other sort of comic shops up and down the country. But yeah, it's a really interesting. I don't want to say like there's a trend, because I don't think there is, but they're two people with interesting stories to tell, doing it in a way that they understand comics, and they're telling it in an interesting way. Yeah. I suppose is the way I see it with these two. Yeah, absolute. They know what they're doing, and they'll keep doing it, and I'll keep reading it. There you go.
Well, don't be surprised if you hear them on the show in 2026. Because
that's good.
We are winding down for 2025, and my fucking nose is winding down. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, you're just suffering here, B.
It's cold. I mean, I'm fairly clear-headed, but my body's like, "Give it up, mate. What did you decide to do this for?" I do this because I bloody love it. And we hope you loved this episode as well. And thank you very much for joining us and sticking with us for this hour and a half, 2 hours of comic book chat. If there's anything that you want to talk about, us to talk about for the remainder of the year, or in the new year when we're going to be lining up more guests, more topics, everything else in between, there's several different ways you can get in touch with us. You can email us awesomecomicspod@gmail.com. Follow us on social media at awesomecomicspod on Instagram, at the awesomepod on X. And if you listen to us on the website awesomecomics.podbean.com or the Podbean app, thank you very much. Likewise, if you listen to on Apple Podcasts, thank you very much. On Spotify, thank you very much.
If it was like Andrew Dawson,
if it was,
or his name is.
if you're on Amazon, Stitcher, Podnose, Podknife, what are the networks are we on, Tony?
Now that we're in the season approaching Christmas, I think it's worth pointing out at this point in the show that the scientific name for a pine tree is a pinus.
Thank you very much. So,
I ain't Googling that.
No. Wow, we found the thing that Dan won't Google.
Are you girls lost?
You didn't let me finish it when I'm not in incognito mode.
That dog's got a wig on.
That makes it.
Are you girls lost?
But seriously though, if you like the show and the things that we talk about on a week-to-week basis, please do get in touch and join us on Slack. There's a wonderful sort of community of people on there. Their collaborations. There's going to be probably loads of art during Christmas as well.
Mentioning the Slack, Sam brought up the Secret Santa art swap.
Oh, are we doing that again?
When we come off, I'll quickly speak to you about that. And
okay.
Oh dear.
So let's get off. Yeah, let's get off.
Yeah, let's get each other off. Yes.
Let's play an invisible trumpet.
Yeah. You can also buy merch from acpgear.redbubble.com if you want to support the show. In any way you can support the show, we really, really appreciate it. Tell everyone about it. And get there.
We've got another review on iTunes, you see.
Have we?
Yes.
Yeah.
Someone listen, Vince.
Oh, finally. We're not just shouting into the void. We know we're not. And thank you very much for listening, everyone. Where can people find us online, etc.? Tony?
Neveronanything.com or Tony EZ. Every Wednesday I do tops and bottoms and a little sort of chat about comics. Yeah. So go and have a look at it.
He especially loves the bottoms.
I do. There's a cracker coming this week. Fucking hell. No, people can live with themselves.
Wow. Speaking of which, where can people find you, Dan?
You can find me on Twitter at Vanguard Comic. You can read Vanguard at VanguardComic.com. I don't have an active profile on Pornhub.
Right. You can find me on social media at Jester Diablo. And Dan Butcher, you've been an absolute champ this week. We've really bullied you. We've really bullied you this week. So
he doesn't like
away
porn.
From home.
There's going to be karma is a thing on this show. It happens to all of us at some point. So join us next week.
Are we meeting Al next week, by the way? Oh no, it's a week after, isn't it?
Next week.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt. Sorry.
Yeah, we're actually doing the show, Tony.
I know.
Well, we're just finishing up the show. Speaking of which, to all you lovely people, have a brilliant week. We hope you're feeling all right. Avoid the cold that me and Tony caught when we kissed each other. It was a lovely...
Some call it kissing.
Well, that's true. Heavy petting.
Don't heavy pet or bombing. You're not allowed to do either in the swimming pool.
Yeah, you can't, can you? Do you remember those posters?
Yeah.
We should remake one for the pod.
Yes, we should do.
Yeah.
I
like that idea.
Nice. And I like the idea of everyone having a brilliant week. So go forth, read loads of comics, make loads of comics. And from everyone here at the ACP, have a brilliant week. And what else should they do, guys?
Stay awesome.
Stay awesome.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.